Hello and welcome to the latest lockdown series of the Road to Ball show, and I am delighted to be joined by Ballymartin and Down ladies player Lauren Cunningham. Lauren, thanks very much for jumping on the call tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad I found you in the house because for the past wee while you've been running the roads.
Yeah, you're right. 3 or 4 times a day.
What was that all about in 84 then, Lauren?
So Ballymartin came up with a fundraiser that they were going to travel around the world. So 40,000 kilometres, and we had a target of doing it within 50 days. So yesterday was the 47th day, and we finally got our target of 40,000 kilometres. So all funds raised were for the Southern Area Hospice. So we set our target at 5,000, and then thankfully last night we raised the £5,000. Or actually, it was this morning, I think, we raised the £5,000 then to go to the Southern Area Hospice. So we're delighted.
Absolutely brilliant. And how many miles did you cover yourself, or kilometres?
I seen my running one was like 270 kilometres or something like that. But overall, I don't even know what it was. Cycling and walking was all at it in, but it was a good few anyway. There's a lot of the senior ladies and senior men pulled together, and they come up with a lot of kilometres together, which was great.
No, that's brilliant. And this, the lockdown not there, that you just got out and about, and now that we've got word that there's football back and you're away now.
Well, yeah, I'm delighted that it's back. I just don't know what's happening with me now. As you know, I was talking the other day, am I going to go? Am I not? I don't know. I'm meant to be going away to teach in Abu Dhabi, but just playing it by ear and seeing what the crack is. Really.
Very good. But you'd be keen to get back on the football pitch anyway. Any word what's happening? What are you doing? Small groups or?
Yeah, well, hopefully now when we get the go ahead, we will be going into small groups. But the management team have just said they're just waiting for the go ahead from the LGFA, and then we'll go by that. But we'll not be doing anything before we're told that we're allowed to kind of go back. But hopefully in the next few weeks now we will be allowed small group training. Hopefully it'll be good to get back with the girls.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it will. And same with all codes. It'll be brilliant just to get organised training again and get everyone back on the pitch. Lorna, I was looking at your achievements in that, and I'll just run through a couple here. Senior debut at 2013, you got a Player of the Year. Down ladies Player of the Year same year. 2014, Ulster and All Ireland champions. 2015, you went to America then and played in San Francisco. 2016, you came back, and then 2017, you captained the team, and then 2018, you had an ankle injury, I believe, and you had to have surgery on it.
Yeah, I had.
How was that then? Whenever you came back and got injured, then?
Oh, it was definitely the worst thing. That's probably one of the lows of my football career, anyway. So I was playing Seoul in a championship match. It was the first round, quarter-final actually it was. And the year before we were beaten, and we shouldn't have been beaten. We were going for the championship. So we knew that year was going to be our year if we just all stuck together. So first round, I was running through, nobody near me. And I went to fist pass over another girl's head. And I went to go one way, and I landed in like a hole on Saul's pitch. And I knew straight away something was wrong because I heard like a crack. So I got carried off, took to hospital, and they had said nothing was broke, which I was like, okay, maybe then like it'll be okay. Then I still couldn't walk on a few days later, so I went up to the physio, and he told me that I needed an MRI. Got an MRI, and unfortunately the ligaments had come off the bone, and that I was going to require surgery. So we got to the semi-final, and then the girls won the semi-final, and I thought, geez, there's no way I can't play this final. So the damage was done anyway, so I taped the ankle up, and was lucky enough to come on that day, and then finally we won the championship. So I was delighted that I got to play some part in it anyway.
So you struck the ankle up, and then maybe the Saul pitch. Maybe Ronan McCartan had the Saul pitch wrecked. Maybe.
It was definitely. I blame him anyway. Yeah, definitely.
Well, they've been working on it, so it's grand now. So it is. The injury though, Lauren. How long did it put you out for then? Whenever you totally did you have to do a whole rehabilitation process?
Yeah. So, after then I played, the physio wanted me to try for a while to do rehab, and it didn't work at all, and he had assumed it wouldn't, but the surgeon wanted us to just try a rehab program anyway. Then unfortunately it didn't work, and then I left in the September after we won the championship to go travelling for 3 months. And then when I came back at Christmas, I booked my operation for the February. February I had it, so February 19. And I was back playing for championship then in June. But I mean, it was morning and night in the gym, like rehab, like it was followed by the book. And I think that's the only thing that why it came back strong, because I did follow it, what the physio had said. But I did think it would have been a lot longer, to be honest, but it strengthened up well, and then finally I was back then come summer.
So there's no issues now with it at all? It's totally healed?
Well, sometimes, but we just have to fight on through it.
Maybe when the manager asks you to run miles and miles.
I don't know, Kat, sorry.
So what age were you, Lauren, whenever you made your debut in 2013?
So I was 17 when I made my debut in 2013.
How did you get was it a phone call, letter, and how did you feel whenever you finally got called up?
Yes, it was brilliant. Like that's always what you want to do, is play for your county, like at senior level. So Mark Copeland and Benji Ward were the managers at the time, and they had been going around watching club games, and Mark rang me and asked me would I come, and it was like the best decision I ever made. From day one, all the girls were like extremely friendly. You know, you felt part of the team straight away. And in that year, I was fortunate enough to play with some of the best players that's ever played for Down. And we actually went on to win the National League that year. Nobody gave us a chance. We played Armagh in the final. We actually played Longford in the semi-final. We were getting beat by 7 points with about 5 minutes to go. And I missed a sitter 1-on-1. We'll talk about that. And then we got 2 goals towards the end and a point. And then Tasha Forrest had a last-minute free kick. And we ended up winning the game by a point. Then when we went on to the final, people had said, Armagh would have walked over us. And on paper, they probably looked like they would have walked over us. And then that day, we ended up winning by 5 or 6 points. So that's probably one of the best moments I've been involved with Down, definitely.
And it was you won Player of the Year that year as well, so your debut season, and you won the Down Ladies Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like when you're young as well, there's no fear, you just kind of go for it. And I suppose there wasn't really anything expected of me, that sort of way. I just went and played every game, and I was delighted then when I was a nice Player of the Year in the first year. So kind of set me up good for them following year, which was the All-Ireland year. You're
saying about the experienced team that you played in. Who took you under the wing whenever you first came in then?
Yeah, so Niamh McGowan, she was captain actually when we won the All-Ireland. Niamh was from Salville, and then the Fagan twins as well they're all from Salville, all completely under the wing. Like, they were amazing, and like people you learnt so much of. And then there was likes of like Lisa Morgan, who's in the forward line, who was unbelievable and actually played for Down in 2000 when they won their first All-Ireland. And just like learning off girls like that, you looked up to them, and then you were playing with them, and they did become your best friends and friends to today. Like, they'd still be dropping you messages and writing to you and stuff. So it's just girls like that. All of them really, though, that year, like there was young ones as well, and you would have still looked up to them as well. But it was such a good team, and like friends, as I say, for life.
And so the 2013 then, and as you said there, you went on to win the Ulster and All-Ireland in 2014. Did you know at that early stage, whenever you first came on the scene, that you could actually win something?
Anyway, no, probably not. Like, I didn't really know. It's always a dream. Oh, I'd love to win an All-Ireland now. And then in 2013, we got beaten in the Ulster final by Fermanagh. And then 2014, we met them again in the Ulster final, and then we were lucky enough to beat them that day, and we actually beat them in the All-Ireland final again. They got through the back door to the All-Ireland final. But I think, the standard was always, and the expectations was, we want to win in All-Ireland. Like, that was our goal. So when I came in, that was kind of in my head from the start. Oh, we're going to do this, and then with the management team that we had in and the girls around us, like, I knew straight away that like we definitely could do it, definitely.
The trainings and that, or how were you taken back from obviously playing club football, being so young, and then coming into a Down setup, a county setup? Was the intensity of training something that you weren't accustomed to?
Yeah, definitely. The intensity at training would have been a lot harder. Even like in drills and stuff, just the pace of things would have been a lot harder. And I have to say, like, Ballymartin ladies have some exceptional players. So playing against them at training definitely stood by me when I came up to county level. Anyone that I mark at Ballymartin training, it's just as hard as anyone I mark at the county training, to be honest. But no, the intensity was there. I suppose you are playing at a higher standard, so the fitness levels and that would have been a lot more expected of you. The trainings were definitely hard, especially in 2014. Some of the trainings we done, I don't know how we done it. I remember night girls running and being sick at the same time, but I suppose it was all worth it then when you got in the Croke Park at the end of the year.
What was can you remember any particular training sessions, or what the goals, the running wise, or what you had to cover in a training session? That?
Oh, absolutely. Remember this. It's clear as day. I don't think I'll ever forget it. We were training on the Ban Road, and we done these things up down, so you had to be up and down the pitch in under a minute. And then what we had been told was that was what we were training for. So they were like, okay, tonight we're doing 10, and like, I don't want you to give up, blah blah blah. I'll be picking the team around this. So we got to number 10, and Diane O'Hara, she's from Mayo. She actually was like, her trainings were just like army trainings, honestly. Like, and she was like, right, I want to see now who can keep going, and we're going to keep going. Well, we must have did about 16 that night instead of 10, and those girls running, being sick. And then we went into sprints, so we had to do 50 sprints. And she was like, we're in our last 10, and she was like, right, if you can get it under, say it was 10 seconds or whatever it was, we'll stop now. So we all bust ourselves and got it in like 6. And she said, well, here, if you can get it in 6 there, you should have been getting the first ones that quick. I made us start again. Now, that was definitely the worst training that I've ever done in my life, ever.
Someone should have realised what was going to happen there. You see, that's experience.
I know. I'll know that for again, definitely.
But how was the All-Ireland run then, Lauren? How did you, was obviously, whenever you're winning that there, the feeling in the squad, and it's brilliant, but how can you put it into words, like what winning and getting to the final was like?
Yeah, no, it literally was probably the hardest year of my life, football-wise, mentally as well as physically. So for the Ulster final, I actually got dropped for the Ulster final, and I knew if I had got a chance to come on, I had to take it, because that's the only way I would have got a starting place back. So I did come on that day and score a couple of points, and then luckily we won. And I just knew from there, and it was kind of a wake-up call, to be honest. I was in university and I wasn't really probably taking things as serious as I should have been.
Studying too much.
Yeah, studying far too much. So from then, I wouldn't have missed a session, was doing everything outside that I had to be doing, and then got my space back to the All-Ireland quarter-final, All-Ireland semi-final, and then the team was announced in Park Esler on the Tuesday before the All-Ireland. And it was probably one of the most nerve-wracking things, knowing, oh, am I going to start here, because the standard was so high, and I was anyone could have started on the day and probably done the same job. And then I was lucky enough to be called out at number 11 that night, so I was delighted then I got the chance to start in Croke Park that day.
Do you think it was, as you said, a wake-up call? So from 2013 you were, you won the Player of the Year, and then, fighting for your place. That's something that you weren't used to as well? Yeah,
no, it definitely was a wake-up call, and I think even to this day it kind of has stood by me that you cannot become complacent whatsoever. I wasn't playing good, I wasn't playing the football that I had been playing the previous year, and I knew that. Ryan McShane actually took me to the side just before the Ulster final and said, you deserve to be on, but you're not showing it at the minute, so you need to sort of kind of get your ass in gear and get going. So no, I was definitely thankful for that, and it stood me well then, definitely.
How did you take the news? Did you accept it, or at the time did you throw the dummy out?
No, I didn't throw the dummy out. There was definitely tears shed anyway. But I just kind of knew myself I had to kind of knuckle down then. And again, messages from the older players being just keep your head down. And I did. I actually, for once, I probably didn't throw the dummy out. I just put the head down and went, and then was lucky enough to get my spot back.
Yeah, and then you won it. Then you steamrolled Fermanagh really in the final. Then I think you scored 1-2. Would that be right?
Yeah, I do think we were 1-2 that day. Probably could have scored more, but a few wides I think. But no, we were like possessed that day. I'd never seen a group of girls being so up for a game. Like I always say, I think if anyone had been put in front of us that day, we would have rolled over the top with them. Like we were that motivated. Like in the change rooms before, I can remember it as clear as day. I've never seen a group of girls so pumped in all our lives. Like it was unbelievable. And we just went out and just played. We enjoyed it kind of on that day. It wasn't really as much nerves. It was more excitement getting out. I remember running out though, when hearing the noise, I was like, I remember Aileen Byers running behind me being like, keep your head. And I was like, I can't. But no, it was the build up and everything too. It was amazing. Like it was the best experience. Like if I could, I know it was one of the hardest years of my life, but if I could go back and do it again and lift a cup in Croke Park, I'd do it, no issue.
What's the pitch like in Croke Park then, Lauren? I've always
massive. Trying to run up and down that pitch, no, it is. It's unbelievable. It's surreal, like playing on it, and to think that I actually did play on it. It was unbelievable. The grass is like carpet, as they say. Unreal. So good. Not so good when you're near half dead chasing someone of it, but
you're lucky it was an easy enough game then for yourself. So 2014, you decided to take a step back from the county then and go sort of travelling to San Fran then.
Yeah, so a few of us staying on the panel from the All-Ireland went out to San Francisco to play for Fog City Harps. I think that we had done obviously 2 seasons there, and they were pretty intense years, and just thought everyone was going and I might as well go. And you know what, for Down, it was probably the worst thing that has ever happened. We did, I don't even know how many players we lost that year, but I know in the last couple of years there's only been maybe 2 or 3 that's from the panel in 2014, and that's like, I actually think I was the only one this year from the starting team. Yeah, I'm nearly sure. And from the panel maybe like 4 max. So yeah, going to America that year, 3 others came with me who was on the team that year, and we actually watched the Down Championship game because obviously then they were up to senior. And you know, it was probably a hard lesson for Down. Like they took an extreme hammering from Cavan. You know, you nearly felt guilty that you were away, but it was just something we had decided to do. And
so, Lauren, like whenever you were in San Francisco, do you think that experience then, you know, was it just for the whole lifestyle experience while living away from home, and that, you know, helped you grow up a bit as well?
Yeah, maybe. So, you know what? People had been out before us, and it had said about Fog City Harps about going out and playing for them, and they were unbelievable. Like anything we asked them when we went out there, they looked after us so much. We lived with like 20 girls, so it was definitely an experience. And it was brilliant. Like we got to actually travel all over America then before we headed down to the finals in Chicago. And then we played in North American senior finals that year, and we ended up beating Vancouver, I think it was, in the final, which was unbelievable and a great experience with girls, you know, from all over Ireland who came over for the summer. And you know what, the standard was quite high. Like it really, really was. There was like county players from all over playing for Chicago or Canada, whoever it was, and it was one of the best experiences, definitely, and I'm definitely glad I done it now.
But you said Down then suffered. Do you think it was that maybe girls have put so much into getting to the All Ireland, winning it for the past 3 or 4 years, and then they just had enough. They achieved what maybe they thought that, you know, that's the pinnacle.
Yeah, I know, absolutely, 100%. Like I'd say girls maybe just thought, right, okay, I've won an All Ireland and that's me. Whereas you see other county teams really, like at the minute, like Tipperary, for example, they won the All Ireland and now are competing at senior. Probably if we had have pushed on, we could have been in the senior ranks now. Instead of what we've had to do is kind of rebuild again. But yeah, I think girls were just happy of what they achieved and then moved on from there. And then again, girls were moving away. Like they had said, they were given 2 years to down or whatever, and then moved abroad. Like a lot of girls moved to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, stuff like that. So I think it was a tough few years, a lot tougher than I ever would have expected. Like, but I would say it was. Girls were just happy of what they achieved.
And now I suppose the project is getting down back up to where they were. So it's a different project now. Like instead of thinking, oh, we're going to win an All Ireland either this year or next year, maybe building a new team, as you said, maybe you're the only player now left.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like the team we have now is honestly, I don't think I've ever played with a group of girls who are as close, and the standard that we've had in the last 2 years compared to maybe what we had, like, because girls didn't want to play county after the All Ireland year. They generally didn't, and it was no disrespect to any of the managers. They just couldn't get the best out of the girls, like, and the girls just didn't want to be there. And it was hard kind of scraping a team together. Now, the last year 2019 and this year have 100% been my most enjoyable years around. The group of girls just there at the minute, and the management team and backroom team is honestly unbelievable. Like, you look forward to going to training, and I don't think I've ever missed something so much as missing out in training now due to everything that's going on. But it's all about rebuilding, definitely. Like this year, we were going for Division 3. We had been unbeaten in the league, and then unfortunately it was cut short. But that just shows you how high of a standard, like, the girls that we have, like, are playing at now. So young. I think our average age is something like 22, something ridiculous like that. Like, you look, there's girls, like, you could name a loads, but there's wee Orla Duffy from Breda. I think she's 22, 23, and she is unbelievable. And then you've Keir Byrne in fullback, who you never want to mark ever. Like, she's class. And she's only about 19. You forget sometimes that they're that young because they are so good. And so the standard's definitely rising again, and I think we're on the right tracks.
It's the same. Would it be right that Cardiff and Breda are the dominant forces in down football at present?
No, it's Martin. Yeah, no, Cardiff and Breda, they're definitely the teams to beat. They're both, like, Breda kind of have come out on top over the last couple of years, but both teams have exceptional players. Like, when you're playing them, you don't want to mark any of them players in the back line, definitely not. They're all very, very good. And even we had that team 100k fundraiser there, and they came out joint top in the how quick they done the 100k. So no, there's big competition there, definitely.
But do you think it's the work that's been done underage now that Down's seeing the fruits of that, really?
Yeah, no, definitely. The underage work that's going on within the county, like, it's clear to see. If you go on social media, onto the Down Ladies social media platforms, you see that the work they are doing with underage is brilliant. And I think it's more like a communication thing. Like, when I was playing, if I was playing minor and senior, there was always a problem, or there was something, one team would want you more, and, like, you were maybe overtraining and not even getting time to rest. Whereas now, like, the management of Keep and Peter the Sin, they're very good at, like, talking to other managers and, kind of coming to an agreement with them, and especially have to do it with, dual players as well, so that they get the best out of them when they're not being burnt out. Whereas I know, like, years ago, people were saying, oh, you have to train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and right through to Sunday, and they would never have got a break.
And do you whenever you started to now, what trends and like different trainings diets, has the girls, has it totally changed now, or is it still in around the same sort of level?
No, it's totally changed since I've started, like, completely. At the minute, we've strength and conditioning coaching, a man, Paul Heasley, and he is honestly unbelievable. Like, the structure just that he has in our trainings and stuff like that. That's what I think probably the biggest change is, at the structure. You know exactly what you're doing on each day, and then you have your recovery days as well. And then we have a nutritionist and all in, psychologist. It is a lot different. When I started, honestly, up until 2018, we didn't get fed after training or anything. I never would have got fed. The down men would have been training beside us, when they would always be getting food, and we'd be thinking, Jesus, they're so lucky. And now, like, when Keith Van Peter took the job, they had said, these girls need fed after training. Like, Tenuri carried off ones were travelling an hour. Like, we are 40 minutes up the road. By the time you got home, it was too late to start preparing dinner and stuff. So we have, like, people come in and, like, have brilliant food and all for us after training. And I think it's just all the wee simple things like that that's making a massive difference in the county, definitely.
Yeah, whenever there's a structure in place and people know what they're doing, and even players seem to respond as well whenever they get in the wee perks. As you said, simple thing like food after trainings, like, it does give you another added bonus of going to training as well, getting fed.
Yeah, like, I played for Down for 7 years now, and we were never allowed to, like, stay over when we were playing away games. And, like, when you're playing away and you're travelling on the bus 3 or 4 hours, like, your legs are as heavy, no matter if you're telling yourself they're not. They're heavy getting off the bus. Up until last year, then we were allowed to stay over, and the county board, like, backed that and provided the money and whatever for it. And it was great. Like, you were down the night before, you were putting her in with someone who, like, not from your club usually is what they try to do. And you're kind of building friendships that way as well, of maybe people who you wouldn't really talk to, at training. So all wee things like that, as you say, the simple things definitely are making a massive difference in Down.
Has the media exposure to ladies football, pushed the ladies team and the football in the county more and more, or is it basically just down to sheer numbers, do you think?
No, I do think definitely social media has a huge impact on it. The 2020 campaign is something that has massively helped the LGFA, like, in all codes. Camogie and ladies football have been promoted, like, a lot more. Just before lockdown, before all this happened, was in start of March or end of February. Our game was live on Facebook. Jerome Quinn streamed it, and that's the first time Down has ever been chosen to be live streamed. It's usually like the Dublin, the Corks, the bigger teams in Ireland. But we were delighted that day, and it does give a lot of coverage. And then you can sort of see now, like, girls are getting recognised. Girls who should be getting recognised long ago for their talents and that are getting recognised, thankfully. And that is probably all down to social media and stuff like that.
Where was that last match played? Was that in Byrne?
Yeah, it was in Byrne. Like, that's probably one thing that the ladies aren't fortunate enough about. Like, we don't get on Park Esler or home ground. Like, I've played there once in 7 years of playing for Down. Once we've been allowed on Park Esler, which is sad in ways, like what you've played in, like, the big pitches at Clonus, Croke Park, but yet you can't really get on your home pitch. So hopefully that's something going forward that the county board and the ladies county board can work together to come up with something.
Fingers crossed, and hopefully they do recognise. I think that the goalkeeper pulled off 2 wonder saves that day as well, wasn't it?
Unbelievable, Shannon. Clondoff, she's only 19 or something as well. I think maybe she was 20 the other day. And that's a girl who doesn't know how good she is, to be honest. She is something else. Unbelievable. I've never seen someone stop shots the way she does. Like, she's class, and she just doesn't know it. She's very, very she's not confident at all. Hopefully as time goes on she will be, because she's definitely could be one of the best in Ireland. Like,
very good. If you were in over the Down ladies, and you said there about getting the Park astronaut, what changes would you like to see brought in? Yeah,
well, definitely that. Yeah, probably that we get to play on our home pitch. Everything else at the minute, anything we ask really of the county board have been so supportive of us. At the minute they're doing everything they can to put Down ladies on the map. Definitely, they've got in probably the best management team they could get in. They've got the best strength and conditioning coach, nutritionists in, physios, everything we kind of need. there's counsellor services offered as well if we need everything really. It's definitely getting so much more professional. It's down to the county board putting in place a great management and backroom team.
Hopefully they're watching this there, and then the next match will be in Park Astor then. But how's the football changed tactics not there, Lauren, whenever you first started till now? I must admit now, I haven't seen a whole lot of girls football, just a few things that social media not there, but is there sweeper systems and pack defences and all that there as well, or is it more carefree?
Yeah, no, there does be a lot of tactics. Even at the start when I started, and for playing for down, there was tactics, but definitely not to the extreme that there is now. Depending on what team you're playing, I suppose we kind of adapt our playing structure to that, or maybe sometimes we just go with what we want and use our strengths and see what the other team throw at us. But if we feel we need a sweeper, that they'll surely have somebody to put in the sweeper position. But tactics is massive now. After every game, we go through the recording of the game and see where we went wrong and what went right. There was never any of that at the start. Mm-hmm. Definitely not. And it's kind of good in a way because you can see what you're doing wrong and where you're going right. Sort of having them stats, sports things as well. It's kind of good, whereabouts you kind of are in relation to other teams and that. I suppose when you know it's on you, you're wanting to work harder a bit.
You should just put a lot of dummy ones on, just that they don't really working. No. But you see, with you've started football. What made you then start playing for Ballymartin and that, and how quickly you progressed as well to playing county? What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, well, probably Dally would have been massively into Ballymartin, as in he was always down at senior men's training, and I was probably just always going down for a kickabout as well. Younger, underage, I was always playing for the boys teams too, and our Ross would be the same age as me, 18 months younger, so we would have been playing in the same age group. I've always played, and then Ballymartin, I think it was under 13s was the first time that was the ladies, and I played for them. And then it kind of there was never ever a minor team. I never ever played for a lady, a club minor team. So you made your debut for your seniors when you were about 14, literally. People did, all our players did. I actually think this recently enough, I was talking to Sean O'Hare, from Byrne, and he had something he keeps whatever it was, and I played against Byrne seniors when I was 12, and that was their seniors, and that's just the way it was. Whereas now you wouldn't see a 12-year-old playing for the seniors. I think that's what there is so much underage now. Whereas when I was that age, it was just kind of a couple of times, a couple of games here and there, and then seniors was the main thing. But kind of is just a family thing. They're always into the football and the club, and from a young age it's always kind of just been something that's been a part of my life, literally from I was maybe 5 or 6 years of age. So, and then when you're going and enjoying it, it's something you want to stick at. There's not a day that obviously there's days you could be I've got training tonight or whatever, but when you're there you definitely enjoy it.
You were on the development squads then with Down?
Yeah, so, and I actually seen a picture the other day, and it was one of the girls who's still playing with me now, Jessica Foy, a girl from Carryduff. And I was looking at it and I was like, Jesus, that's 10 years ago. Where did that go? It's unbelievable. There is now a good few of us who have been together from maybe under 12s and then up Megan Doherty, Jessica Foy, and then girls under 16s, Aoife Keown and that. We're all sort of building up now. And we kind of are the older ones on the team. I think there's 2 older. Kate McKay, she's nearly 40. No, I'm only joking, she's not. She's 30 something. No, she's not 30. She's she's about 20 now. Tasha Farr as well. They're the 2 oldest ones, and that's it really. Then it goes to me, and then it's all younger then. And with the youngest being, I think, Emer Fitzpatrick, she's about 16 or 17, and unbelievable. She'd push you for your start anyway.
And since you're one of the veterans of the teams, do you think it's your place then, whenever a new girl comes on the team then to show them the ropes, how to behave as a down lady footballer?
Yeah, they'll definitely come to that for me. No, definitely though. Like, I'm not saying I would have been one of the messers, but I do like having a joke about and that at training. But when we are doing serious stuff, it would be serious, and I think the girls do know that. But always, like, we would take the younger ones in under our wing, like 100%. That's what I said last year. Like, when we were going away and staying over, there's not one girl who you wouldn't really know to talk to that you'd be put in a room with, like, because we all really are. Like, I've never seen a group of girls this close. Like, it is like being a part of a club team. And no matter who you get put with, you're delighted. Like, they're all just honestly great girls. Like,
I was listening to Conor Lavery, and he was on the coaching corner with Tony Scully, and he was saying, the difference that he had to learn as a coach. He was taking, I think, Kilcoo ladies, and he was saying that the ladies ask. He had to drop a couple of girls from the starting 15, and he said the girls ask more questions about why they're not playing. Like, they want to know the detailed analysis of why, whereas fellas would just sulk in the corner or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you found that as well, that maybe the girls, they need to know so that maybe they can work on?
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good thing as well. Like, especially at the minute with Down, like, because the competition for places is so high, like, girls do want to know what they can do to improve themselves, and I think the management team kind of like that, to hear girls, what can I do to get on that starting 15, or if I'm coming on as an impact sub, like, what's my job? And there's, like, the girls then want to go away and work on stuff, like you do, and girls talk to each other. Like, I would have girls text me being like, well, what did you think of that, or what should I have done better, or how do you think I played, and stuff like that. And it's good. And I do think, like, we always have this talk at training, like, anything we say to each other isn't like to get a go at each other, it's kind of to make each other better. I think that's something that's, like, improving in Down ladies, whereas it used to be like, oh, she's saying this to me, like, who does she think she is? Whereas now it's like, they take it on the chin. Like, girls, even to me, like, even younger girls, like, I love when they say to me, oh, here, you should have laid it off there, or you should have done this. It's kind of like, it's good, it definitely is. But yeah, I would agree with Conor on that one. Definitely would ask a lot more questions.
Whenever you're playing, Lauren, and that you're not having a good game or anything like that there, how do you get yourself out of that rut then? Is it the management saying something to you, or are you reminded of a game that you maybe played well or anything like that?
Yeah, management would say to you, like, they definitely wouldn't be long letting you know if you're not doing your job right or whatever. But it's kind of the girls on the pitch too, like, either, like, probably an example is Aoife Keown's one of my best friends, like, but if I'm not doing something right in the pitch, she will tell me, like, 100%. She'll not be long letting me know. And I'm the same with her, like, but it's like, we both can take it under the chin and be like, she'll be like, you need to get going here, or like, what are you doing? Whereas on the other side, if, we're playing well, we are so encouraging to each other. And I think it's just like, if I am not having a good game, it's just thinking, right, okay, that's maybe one bad ball, next one, and thinking kind of on to the next one, and never be really too hard on myself if I mess up kind of first thing, but just kind of keep working the whole game. Kind of the mindset, like, I just don't like stopping during a game. Keep going. Hopefully things will work out throughout it.
What advice would you give to any young girl then coming through, not even coming on to their clubs, Lauren, and then hopefully representing down then later down the line? Yeah.
Probably one thing would be just, like, train the way you're going to play. Like, there's no point going to training and half-heart doing stuff. Like, if you're not putting the effort into the runs and stuff like that, there's no point, because you're going to be caught out in the game, like, 100%, especially when you come up to a higher level. You're coming against, like, elite athletes, who are training constantly. I would just say keep working hard, and it's something that, like, I don't know what I would do
Go ahead, yeah.
Yes, just basically, like, training the way you're going to play. Probably if I could give one bit of advice to forwards, like, it's just keep moving as well all the time. There's nothing, I don't really know at the minute. I'm kind of into the back line now, the half back line. There's nothing worse than a forward who's constantly moving. And somebody actually said this the other day to me on a Zoom call, that like a back hates a forward moving, and you do. There's nothing worse than someone who's constantly moving, switching and stuff like that. But definitely I would stick at it. It's something that has got me through everything, as in like university, teaching, everything. It's kind of like gets me away from the schoolwork side of things. It has been, you know, when I'm feeling stressed or whatever, you get out to training, you see a group of girls, and they do become definitely your friends for life. Like you're talking to them every single day, and you know, cracking away with them. So just stick at it, and definitely it'll all be worth it.
I don't want to keep you in it much longer. I want to know how busy you are. You probably have a run. You probably have a run to do. But just on that, you seem to be busy all the time. You know, you're in Liverpool coming home. You've a match here, then you're back to Liverpool. You've training. You know, are you one of these people that just loves being kept busy? And you know, what do you do for, like, downtime? Then how do you get your head settled as well? Then.
You know what though? Yeah, I probably am one of them people who like being busy. Like, just I always like being in the same routine. Like I definitely I get up early no matter what I have the day on that day, and just kind of get things done. Kind of balancing Liverpool and playing county was probably the best thing, and I'd say it's the thing that got me through my PGCE, to be honest. Like girls kind of sometimes say, "Oh, I've too much work doing this," and yes, there does be days that you do have too much work. But it kind of got me more organised. Like it was all down to time management. If I knew I was going home to play for Down at the weekend, all my work for the following Monday would have been done by Thursday, Friday morning latest. And then when I walked into school on Monday morning, everything was sitting there ready for me. Whereas if I stayed in Liverpool that weekend, I was doing stuff on a Sunday night, and it wasn't at all. But yeah, downtime. I just I like going for coffees, and at the minute I can't really do that.
No.
Yeah, no, it's definitely all about time management when you're trying to juggle playing county and kind of trying to succeed, I suppose, in your studies.
Exercise obviously is a big part of your life as well, and you know, fitness wise, is that always something that you will keep up, and that you always are going to strive, you know, for the mental health benefits of exercise? And you know, if someone's struggling at the minute to get their horses in the gear for the exercise, what advice would you give them as well?
Yeah, I think it's the actual going out and getting out and doing it. You know, that's the hardest bit. Once you're out, it's grand. Like there's beast days that definitely, like I do like training most days, but like some days I just don't. And days that I really, really don't want to, I don't. Like I just, you know, take my time off. But like it's the initial getting up and going. Like if you can just get yourself out there and say, oh, I'm only going to do 20 minutes. Once you're there for 20 minutes, you're going to stay on. And like it definitely clears my head. Like I know days that I don't want to do and I couldn't be bothered, and then I go out and I'm like, this is the best thing I've done. And then you want to kind of stay out, like even if it's going out and kicking the ball around a pitch for half an hour, it's definitely of benefit physically and mentally, I suppose, as well.
Would you do a lot of skill acquisition as well, Lauren? Would you take the ball out to Ballymartin and practice points and that there as well?
Yeah, well, I'm not allowed in Ballymartin pitch at the minute. No, not Ballymartin. Martin a couple of weeks ago to say, could he lend me more balls? And he said, do you know Ballymartin pitch is closed? I said, not a pitch, you know, some ones. No, definitely, I would have to go out. I'd be out at least 3 times a week on St. Commons pitch to just kick about. And even if it's just simple, hitting like 50 shots before, like, usually what I would have liked doing, like Sean O'Hare always done this with us, 50 shots before training, 50 shots after. So even getting out and hitting 50 shots over the bar, under, wide, whatever way it goes, you know, it's something. And just kind of the wee things to try and improve overall. Like you just kind of always want to be better. But I definitely think at the minute, at like this age, I'm definitely a lot fitter than I ever was when I was maybe 18, 19. And I suppose that's down to, you know, when you're at uni, drinking and eating, kind of not what you should be like. But definitely something, even after football, that I would continue to do, definitely. It is so much about a balance, like definitely. And I think though, if there wasn't that, like people are gonna kind of drop out nearly and like think, oh, there's so much expected of me. I think at the minute, like the ladies in Down know that, like, yes, we need to train hard, but they also can go on and do stuff like outside of football. Relation to the men, I'm not really, like, I don't really know much like what way they be. I'm sure they are training just as flat out as we are at the minute, but we definitely do have a balance and are allowed, you know, Kiva, Peter, like, do promote like going out and making sure you're enjoying yourselves and like doing like wee social things as well as a team. Not necessarily always like drinking as a social thing.
No, exactly, no.
But even just like wee silly competitions that like kind of put a wee competitive edge in. Like last week we had to make a 3-course meal in our groups of 3, and my team won. So we did. It's the first competition we've ever won.
Can you cook, or did you get it delivered?
No, you see, I was gonna get it delivered, but then we had to video ourselves doing it.
All right. I'm shocked. But what is the future hold for yourself then and Down ladies? What's the goal for if we play a bit of football this year and next year then?
Yeah, well, you know, the goal is again to win in All Ireland, like, and I can see in All Ireland in that team, like 100% without a doubt, I believe that them girls, and hopefully I will be a part of it, can win in All Ireland. Last year it showed, like we played the last league game against me. They went on to win the All Ireland last year, and we played them in the last game of the league, and it was a relegation match for us. Like if we had got beat, we would have been relegated to Division 4. Nobody gave us a chance going and playing against me, who had been unbeaten all year, and we ended up winning by 6 or 7 points. It just shows like how, I think, mentally strong our team is as well. So we'll be pushing on, and hopefully within the next couple of years we'll be in All Ireland and Down, fingers crossed. And not just saying that, I think we wouldn't want to stop there. We want to push on now for into the senior ranks.
Brilliant. Lauren, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck. Hopefully I'll be in a couple of years I'll be able to replay this and say I told you so.
Oh, I hope
so. All the best. I think the trainings are going to be starting up now very, very shortly. I think some teams are already starting sneaky back training, so I hope they're all safe and well. But Lauren, thank you so much, and if you wouldn't mind coming back on again whenever we know what's happening and you've just played a few matches as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks very much.
And well done for Ballymartin on the fundraising. That's brilliant.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Talk to you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.